Hi everyone, Metaphysical Mama, welcome back. I haven't been on in a while. How's everyone doing? We got Mercury retrograde in full effect, which is definitely, I think I was born in Mercury retrograde, but it is definitely affecting many things goings on right now. And we got Mars and Neptune. There's so much going on. We're getting hit with so many cosmic flares, and the solar rays are just super intense. So if you're feeling headaches, you might feel dizzy. I know my other half there has a good earache, like a serious ear infection. So, and that too has to do with, like, right, if more from the outer planets, Saturn and yeah, Mars is, even though it's right, it's kind of right, men are from Mars, women from Venus, they say, right? So the Mars energy coming in is very draconian, and a lot of them are gaining the vagus nerve and empathy. So if the ear is swelling and dizziness occurs and headaches, it's because we're coming in, right? Focusing more on coming in and listening to the inner voice within. So it's like bringing the astronauts in from way outer space, right? So Uranus, Neptune, Saturn. There's a lot going on with Proxima A and B and Alpha Centauri, the Centaurs, Sagittarius. So much. I downloaded so much stuff this morning. Well, in the last like few whatever, I've been writing a lot in the last couple of days too, writing a lot of stuff down. So when I get guided to start jittering stuff down, it means is we going through a big transmutation. So this is truly human race evolution. It's a galactic galactic evolutions 404. I hope you can hear me okay. It wasn't really showing that the microphone was working. So hopefully we have sound. One of the things Mercury retrograde is messing with me with. So my room flooded over the weekend, or before the weekend, last Thursday. The water main broke in the hotel that I stay at. It wasn't the first time it happened. So it was like literally Noah's flood. Just to give you a little brief on my fun scenario in the present moment. And again, it's not just me. We're a lot are dealing with landlords and evictions, and I don't know what else, but that's definitely what's going on here, and there's many. And so we're just kind of, again, I've been neutral since like 2016. We had the twin flame, kind of got slid off the plate and put into another universe, or the hologram, the matrix, whatever you want to call it. And so for the last, right, it's been 7 years since 2016, guys. If 7 years trial and tribulation. And the eclipses that we had were in like 2017, if I'm not mistaken. We had that run of eclipses, like a bunch of them in a row. And we've had a few, in the last few years since then. So this is right, that you were part of my 5-year plan. So the 5 years from 2017 until now, and then we have the eclipse, full lunar eclipse coming this Sunday. We just had partial solar eclipse, was it like a week or so ago? And then look, my room just flooded. So I don't know if anybody else experienced any flooding or anything crazy going off. And especially too, those of us that have been put in the position of, right, say, messenger, and what have you. Oh, sorry, my elbow's all up in the thing. That have, we've kind of remained neutral and just been bobbling around, these last 5 years, so to speak. and being where we need to be. We get put in certain positions, right, as say twin flames and what have you, so that we're witnesses to certain, right, things that are going on and going down. And don't forget too that the virus is, right, also, right, like a computer hack. So within the bodies, within the mind, right, it's corona, right? So it was a virus of the mind due to the disease of the gut, right? The gut system, the digestive system, and all lust and disease starts in the gut, right? But we also get good instincts. So it's not like it's bad. We just have to look at both sides and then find ourselves in the middle and then be able to see, right? Unlike the cut, right? See more. You'll be able to see that. Be able to see more. It's like web. Have the ability to be, as Lilith came out, the ability to see more of the unseen, what's under the veil, which again, we have to go into the dark places. So this is a collective dark night of the soul for sure. That's why we have so much going on. And a lot of these things were pre-planned. Absolutely. I mean, think about all the different species and breeds and beings that exist and dwell on planet Earth, right? Kai, etc. Yo, and for Rashad Jamal, yo, there's so many things going on right now, right? Chosen ones are being attacked and arrested and being made to put, like, a lot of those that had set us up, right, to put like liens in our names to, right, bring us back to try to hold on to our energy and keep us in a lower vibration to bring us down. That's what's going on right now. So it's like those that have been summoning, and you, that's why it's like this last 5 years, last 7 years has been right, a huge spiritual audit, right, balancing the scales of space and time and free will of man and how it's been used, and if it's been manipulated by others, right? If others have the fallen ones means coming into the daughters of men. So manipulating innocence, ignorance, right? Immature emotions that are underdeveloped and not processed, or taking advantage, right, of those that are unsure, or making people, putting people in a fearful, confused state, and then offering some kind of, right, to the problem. But who's the one that started the narrative to create confusion and fear in the first place in order to say that then they had the solution, which they don't, because that's why everything's such a mess, and inflation and war and no parts, and right. Which I like the trucks, there's no parts to there. That was another thing I saw the other day. Some with the trucks came up, the trucking companies, and it was like the insider, whatever, with the truckers. And the truckers deliver all of our goods, right, everywhere. And if everybody hasn't noticed, like there's shortages of things in certain places, right? It's like it seems like, but that's also because we, the people, again, all disease come from the gut. What do we need? We're used to grabbing and wasting and having it now, and instant gratification type, right? It's like people have no idea how to wait, or what patience is, or how to, right, deal with someone else saying no, or when someone has an expectation and they've been wishing and hoping and dreaming and dwelling upon said expectation, or they want things a certain way, then they get it, and then they go back on what they said in the first place, or they try to make it look like they never said that, or they had no control, or they act aloof. These are all very strategic, right? These the pyramid of power, which is just the pyramid of pussy, right? It's like you have to have a victim and right. We've done this many times in my channel, right? I got to be a victim, And there got to be a hero or a savior. Why am I forgetting the other one right now? My brain is done. Oh boy. A victim, a hero, and a motherfucking. Well, there got to be a problem. Right? There's something wrong. Got to be something wrong. I don't know what word I was looking for, but yeah. Anyhow, so yeah, the flood in my room, that was something else. Like I had literally, I'll put the video up. I took videos. I just haven't uploaded anything. And again, you know, it's like going through all the stuff that we've been going, all the setups. So I haven't had time to do anything. It's like, you know, and that's all, this is all done on purpose too. So I just take notes. It's like when my energy gets drained and I get put in a state of confusion and I'm dealing with all this extra stuff swirling, you know, I'm an empath and I have awareness of what's my energy and what's not. And I'm aware also of the position I'm in. I don't mind taking on a lot of that negative energy that doesn't necessarily belong to me, isn't my karma, but we're helping as twin flames and as light workers and grid workers and shamans and however you right where however you are doing your work, right? It's like we're all taking that negative energy, lower vibrational energy, antimatter, and allowing it to come up through us and then transmute it into neutral free energy, right? So but then there's also some, and that can look just like those that are receiving karma, right? And we're all, everybody got karma. I mean, it's like, right, everybody, ain't none of us perfect. We all make mistakes, and that's what karma is. Everything you do comes back to you. But some are trying to, right, like dump the load, or right, what I hear earlier is so true, right? Dump and pump. It's like all their sexual innuendos and the it's 414. Spreading of dis-ease due to the fact and nature that they're so angry, beings that are so angry and hurt and out for revenge. Again, twin flames, we had some knowledge before any of this went down in 2016 that shit was about to go down, and virus, right, is part of it, right? We knew they were going to hack the fucking twin flame story narrative when that got put out, right? Those that, right, like decided to mimic and portray to be the karmic twin flame, and we have that whole saga. So again, that's a lot of the Trojan horse, the Trojan, the virus, right, of Osiris and Titus. Are they really them? It's not their boat, right? In that Wu-Tang song, it's like I forget how it goes every time I'm on here, but yeah, Titus and whatever releasing the virus on the island. So you know, it's yeah, just putting things into perspective. Will definitely help. Don't go for the okie dokie and the narratives that are being placed out in the, you know, and that are and have been placed out in the media. And hopefully now, I mean, so many people went and got got tested, got the vaccine, et cetera, et cetera. Now, like, right, government want to know who got it, who don't. I guess there's people ask, you know, like, are you vaccinated type stuff, in order to ABC. I'll tell you, most of the people that I know that got COVID, that I actually know that got COVID, all got it after they received their vaccines and their boosters. Some of them have it now, right? So those that thought, I mean, people thought, you know, it's like people get nervous and, you know, they think they're doing the right thing and what have you, you know. I'll just show you this right here. It's like, yo, drink dandelion tea. Get that shit the fuck out of your system. You know, it's not like, oh, you have to worry and freak out or anything, but you don't want it attached to your cells and what have you. It's like they get a free ride on your thought and on your anything you want to do, so to speak. It's like nanotechnology. And it's also like for some people, I'll say too, though, because again, there's so many different beings and species here and what have you. So some people really did need to take that vaccine in order to be able to handle the radiation that we're being hit with by the solar flares and the cosmic rays. And the poles literally are flipping. So there's a lot of, right, a lot of, like, with the atmosphere, there's a lot of change in breathing and the way that our lungs are working and our organs, right? It's not just like a mental, this is like a whole metamorphosis. We're right, becoming light beings, right? Rainbow body. So connecting with the rainbow body within and killing what no longer serves us, letting go. That means letting go of what no longer serves us. That could be people, places, or things, seen or unseen. Right? And just ask for the right, the most, right? Put people, places, and things with the least resistance in my path. Right? Or don't forget too, a lot of us are, right, spiritual badass gangsters. So we all came down here like, no, put it all in my path. So don't forget who you are too when shit gets real hard and real rough and you feel like there's no way out and why is this all happening and all that, you know, all those feelings and thoughts that come with that. Remember who you are and remember that your soul came here to help because you are so fucking strong and pure and you have such a good, right, like you have such a passion for life and others and experience and learning and wanting to help, right? So again, none of us are perfect, and again, experience is experience. We can't, like, don't judge the other side of something because a lot of beings had to take, right, it's like if someone's like, oh, I want to be on the good side, well then somebody else has to be on the other side, right? So we can't judge those, right, or that have had to take on the other stuff that others couldn't possibly. Sometimes they just need a little help instead of being judged and, right, it's like they're not the bad guys. They've just gotten, they got the shit side of the stick. Right? So integrating, like merging so that we have yin and yang balance. We want to balance, right? Whether we're going left and right or up and down or forward and back, right? Back, forward, down, up, right, left, right? No matter what, or from an angle, no matter what direction we go, we always got to come back to the center, a self, right? So learning how to really become independent and accountable. And like another thing too, like everybody blaming Biden and what have you. I ain't for Biden or Putin or anybody or against. However, I will say this much. Like, I mean, poor Biden looks like Kermit the Frog. I mean, I've said that since way before he even got falsely elected. Everybody forget about the fake voting count still. Oh, and do you know cosmic rays can flip the binary code in a computer system? NASA and everything checked it out. It's like total, like, research that shit. It's like there's a when shit. How many different computer systems or things do you think are just a little bit, on occasion, off? Or again, the things fluctuate. Why? One little hair, my hair here, a little hair, little cosmic ray, a little tiny thin thing you can't even see, comes and flips and switches the binary code inside the computer system. Don't forget, computers are made of crystal, platinum, gold, silver. I'm sure there's mercury in there too. I'm not positive of all the elements that are in there, but I do know that it's, you know, well, and that's what we're dealing with too on the outer realms too, right? As above, so below, so within, excuse me, so without, so within, so without, as above, so below, and all spaces in between. Timelines too. I see I have a viewer. Hi, are you able to hear me? I hope, because it said my microphone was not working. Do I even have my comments on to be able to see you? Thank you for coming to visit. So yeah, solar flares. What was I saying? Solar flares and the binary codes have being flipped from 0 to 1. So I was watching something that was like, and it was like an older voting system when they first came out with the voting system. And they had a computer, and I forget where it was. It was somewhere in Europe. It wasn't Ukraine, but it was somewhere. It might have been Ukraine actually, but and the voting count, they did the thing on the computer, and then they also wrote everything down on a paper. So they had a paper ballot that they put in a box as well. And the voting count came out to be like 465 or 496, 4,096 or something for this lady, say Maria. And that was more than there was even able to be votes for. So when they did the count, they were like, huh? And it was the computer. So then they did everything to try to figure out what happened. They recounted all the votes in the box, in the ballot box, and that came out right normal. They figured out the right numbers. And in the process of researching and going into the depths of finding out how that could have possibly happened, they figured out that it was due to cosmic rays, solar rays. And NASA was on there and everything, and they were like, it happens a lot more often than you think. So it was a very interesting documentary I was watching. Blew my mind a little. And so yeah, I just wanted to share that with you too, because I thought that was very interesting. And yeah, I haven't been on in a while, and my numbers are always low. I know that there's been mad witchcraft and whatever done on my channel, on my destiny, on me, on my family for a long time, spellcraft, witchcraft, whatever. And there's a lot of people that are close to us throughout our lives, that are part of that, unfortunately. And it's all good, and it's like I'm very grateful that I've gone through so many years of healing and on myself, and with so many others, diverse, so many others, and so many diverse natures, that for myself, I am able to see when, even with all the disgusting, really, really, really distasteful things going on, the opposite of love is fear. So those that try and act all high and mighty and powerful and use anger and manipulation, again, they're using the feminine energy, because emotion is feminine. So first of all, so we could call them a bitch, and a lot of them are, right? Just there's lots of varying degrees, right? Some do this shit, and it's like they are. That's like you're complete effing bitches, dogs. You need to sniff cayenne pepper. And others, again, even those that I just said should sniff cayenne pepper, it's like they're just coming from a place of fear, or they didn't feel accepted, they didn't feel loved, and it doesn't justify it and make it okay. But it's just a better, like, if you're able to see more so where someone else is coming from, because it can look angry, it can it can make them look bigger than us, or it can make us feel bad for them. And remember that saying, like, no sympathy for the devil. And you also don't want to lash out and become one of them, which we all can, and it's okay, right? We all go through different emotions and feelings, and places in our minds that we never thought that we would maybe experience or go, right? Depends on the environment that we are in, mentally and emotionally, physically, right? The people that we're around or the places that we live in, these have effects on us. But it's also being able to learn how to be the balance, right? In the eye of the storm, be the eye of the storm, right? Being able to surf the waves of chaos, right? Into some kind of natural order. and have fun while doing it. Like surf the waves. Don't let others, right? Don't let the bastards get you down, because the bastard is just a thought. It's Cain jumping out the right side of the temple with Adam and Eve. It's like, oops, we let one go, right? So that one goes running, that one goes rolling. We got Adam, Eve, and Cain. So we want to bring those three things back home, right? We Adam and Eve and Cain, the emotion and the thought and the thing that's made because they escaped our garden. So we don't want to kill anything. We want to we just don't want to go with that first thought, because it's not of good fruit. It's negative. If we go with that one, we're going to get lost. Pieces of ourselves just went out of ourselves and we got lost. So it's like, come on back home. You want to bring your kitties back home. So you got those three, right? Trinity. You want that. You need those three pieces to always come back, right? And nature always comes back to its original source. So that's also that's karma, right? The energy traveling up and through us, right? Mercury, electricity, Mercury travels up through the body, mixes with the emotional body, and pops out a thought. And that's how Adam and Eve coming out of the garden, right? And then blaming it on, I don't know what, whatever, because they're outside. That's why they're all fighting, right? Fighting outside. Da, 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 right? That's all outside self. That's why I want to bring it back in. So with them again, Mars and Neptune, that's bringing, right, our fire and our passion, right? And finding, and Mars needs us. It's like the Tin Man, right? Tin, Mercury, etc. Lost his heart, right? Surrender, Dorothy, and get the fuck off the yellow brick road. Sorry for swearing, YouTube. So the Tin Man needs a heart and forgot how to use his imagination, because that's also like Metatron. There's a whole bunch of different things that come into the consciousness of, right, different beings, right? So being able to balance that and allow the heart chakra to open and the vagus nerve to connect. And they're used to operating with electricity, so it's usually a transmission of electricity to keep their electricity going. That's why they seem like they don't give a right fuck. It's not because they're not able to. They've been from Mars. That's a war planet, right? So if you're in war, you're not making babies and like, hey, and whatever. You have close bonds that are unbreakable, right? Brothers and lovers, etc., that have each other's backs, that have gone through more intense and probably an intimate things that say a husband and a wife could go through on say Earth, right? I mean, it's not the same, right? So it's like coming from a place to try and comprehend another, so they're not being rejected, because everyone just wants to be loved and accepted, right? That's all we all would like. So if people are being called names and everybody thinks everyone's supposed to be the same, then we're not really being open-minded and willing to listen to one another and communicate and have an idea so that we can connect where others are coming from, rather than just going with our, again, first negative thought, feeling, and whatever. We don't have time, we don't have the excuse that's going to come with it, why we can or can't listen to one another or just be there, right? Listen to yourself first. Be able to, we have to be able to do that with ourselves first. Clear the mind and come from that place so that we know we're coming from a balanced place before we can do that for another. And I'm certainly not going to go ask someone that doesn't have the ability to do that, right? I may talk to people about some stuff, but I'm not going to come looking for a solution for someone that doesn't have those tools, right? So it doesn't mean we don't like people and we're not friends with people and we don't love people, but having awareness and discernment of the things I can and cannot, right, not expect, but right, having awareness of who somebody is. Everybody's different. So there's certain people I can talk to in a certain manner, and then other people I would never speak to like in that dialect, right? I would never have a conversation using certain words with certain people out of respect. It's like, right, there's just certain, right? Like you go to grandma's house. I'm not, I'm very different if I'm at my grandmother's no longer here, but if I'm at when I think it's like, I don't even, my thoughts don't even, it's like, oh, no, 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 not around grandma. And not like we're hiding anything from grandma, right? It's just it's respect, right? And then there's some other grandmas that are crazy and like, you can hang around them and say whatever with them. But right, there's like that, my great, we call her great. Yeah, no, 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 no. We would never. It's like we sit nice. It's completely different, than if we're so it's like that. And it's like, and everybody should be true. This is mama's house. Treating the earth and yourself and others like you in your mama's house. Everybody forgot how to have respect like that. I'm not quite sure, like it's, you know, not everybody. But. So let's get into this reading. I pulled some cards. So on the bottom of the deck, I got Orpheus and Eurydice, which, if you know this story, it's like Orpheus was given permission to go into hell by Hades because he loved Eurydice so much. And Hades told Orpheus, I'll let you bring her back to the land of the living, right? Or what have you. She'll be behind you. You just can't look back. Don't look back. It's like not Gomorrah. Was it? Lot's wife. Yeah, not Sodom and Gomorrah. Am I saying that right? I don't know what my brain is doing today. Anyway, and she looked back and then got turned to a pillar of salt, right? So it's kind of the same, right? Don't look back. We're letting go what no longer serves us. We can't go back to it. So you don't want to be Orpheus, right? And going back. Sorry, the lighting is so freaking horrible. Let me see. I'm going to be able to fix that a little bit. Is that a little better? There we go. So, yeah. So that's at the bottom of the deck. So that's important right now. And we're gonna, someday you're gonna go back a little bit. It's okay to like look back somewhat. You're gonna look back. This is when we look back at our life. We're going through our past lives. We don't make the same mistakes again, right? Is really the goal that we want to try to achieve, right? It's like you look back enough to allow it to come forward into the now so that we can clean it up. It's like, and you got to clean you can only do what you can do right now. So it's like open the valve a little bit, let a little bit come forward from the past so that you can deal with it in the now and clear it out so that we don't bring the shit that we don't need with us into the future, right? We stay in the present now. So the more we learn how to do that and come back to our present now, right, we continue to not carry such a heavy load that continues to keep us weighed down in a lower vibrational frequency, right? That's like consistency of hell and Tartarus and Sheol and what have you. And don't forget, hell with two L's is a place, it's a state of mind. HEL with one L, right, is the Nordic goddess's name. Well, Odin and what have you. She's like part half dead, half alive. So, and the other cards that I pulled was Madame Soleil and the Mermaids. And then we got Lilith and Uranatia. So I thought that was super interesting pull. And I'm going to read those. And I'm going to roll our little astrological dice here and see what we got with that. And I pulled, what was it? A Perfect Life, the Sacred Rebels. And I'll close with that. We got Taurus, Venus in the second house. Venus in Taurus in the second house. Excusez-moi. So that's pretty cool. Venus and Taurus. So yeah, again, Mars energy and Neptune. That's pretty beautiful. So then Mars and Neptune is a lot of fantasy and again, right, like passion, lust, like right, passion of the Christ. And Neptune is dream state, so it can be right the American dream or the American nightmare or any dream or nightmare. So yeah, where's where'd the book go? Oh, come on. Oh, like, it's gotta be here somewhere. It fell on the floor. So let's see, Madame Soleil. Oh yeah, so wait, I was gonna say with Mars and Neptune, because Mars is generally fantasy. Now fantasy is different than imagination, although very similar, right? I mean they're the same, but not. Right? Use your imagination and have or live a fantasy. So they're a little different. Right? And then the passion that comes with, right, yeah, Venus, Aphrodite, love, which also is, right, produces, yeah, absolute lust. That's what produced and creates to Mars, right? The sun is the dark mother, right? Light is birthed out of darkness. So the comes from, right? So creation is like, right, a big cosmic orgasm, so to speak, right? And that's before there's form. So of course our physical bodies are going to mimic, right, the explosive nature of creation. But if most are trying to get it and achieve that out of envy and jealousy and wishing, I just wish I had that, and I just want what they have, and I just wish I could be like that, and because we all get those feelings and thoughts, right? But a little different than operating in the feeling of lack is a different thing. So you don't want to get stuck there and come from that place, because that's when all the depression and lower level shit comes in, and then that's where we're at. So let's see, Madame Soleil, generosity. What's this one? So we got generosity and magnanimity. Magnanimity. Madame Soleil, the sun goddess, lives in the light, and there's nothing difficult or complicated about her. She emanates truth, clarity, and creative energy, and she inspires generosity. Drawing this card is very fortunate and reminds you that the more love that you give, the more love you'll receive in return. It is a call to open your heart wide and let the light of the sun goddess in. Allow it to radiate back out of you toward others. Practice a warm-hearted approach to every situation you come across. You'll find your whole outlook will become more cheerful, optimistic, and idealistic. Mermaids. Fate and sacred calling. Mermaids have symbolized an element of fate for thousands of years. Seeing one at sea could foretell your doom or keep you safe from harm. Their song can lure you in or warn you from danger. They may cause your ship to wreck or guide you to riches and fortune. They are beautiful, dangerous beings that may help or hinder. Drawing this card indicates that you are hearing their song and must make a great decision, a gut decision. A sudden change, of course, may be in order, right? And that's what's up. Get ready, because the waves are crashing just like this. We don't know which way they're going to take us. So just be ready to go with the flow. Like Bruce Lee said, be like water. Assessing whether the call you are hearing is a seductive distraction or a sacred calling will depend on your personal intuitive response. Right? So coming from that balanced place in the center and not allowing temptation to take us into a place that we do not want to end up in. And don't, like the ones that are like luring and tricking and doing things like, don't like those that it's like if you got pulled somewhere and you had don't freak out like now you're fucked and now you can't get back to like, right, like that no, because that's what's about to like, right, it's like no, the water, the tides are going to separate. So some are going to go get pulled one way and others will get pulled, right, wherever people, so to speak, need to go in order to learn, right, the soul lessons that they need and that we need, etc. That's where we'll get guided and brought to. And just keep asking. Remember to ask for help and ask for that to be brought to you, right, for help and for, right, the path of least resistance. Right? And any weapon formed against me spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, sexually, etc., shall not prosper. All right, Lilith. Self-actualization and power. The goddess Lilith represents determined feminine, self-empowerment. According to myth, Lilith was first female, created in the Garden of Eden. When the Creator discovered her to be dominant over her male counterpart, he was displeased and cast her out of Eden. Lilith returned in the form of the serpent who tempted Eve to eat fruit from the tree of knowledge. Drawing this card is symbolic of the need to exercise personal power. There is no sin in embracing your own nature. This is not to say there will not be pushback or consequences, but you are still called to be what you will be, right? The only thing we can be is ourselves, right? So we definitely want to focus on being the best version of self that we can be without feeling guilty or bad, because I know very much what that feels like, right? I care very much, Lilith. So carrying this energy and feeling inside, I like, right, Aquarius moon, feeling inside so one way, right? Like so love, and then others see us as, right, well, if somebody thinks that you're stronger than them and they try to take advantage, right, because then they feel less than. So then now they feel like they have to go get something else that's less than them so that they feel more dominant over it, or they're going to try to make fun of us or make us feel bad to lower us down so that they can then, right, Adam can be on top, right? So then the thought that wants to be on top, right, the hoe wants to be on top. Which that's fine. I'll make a mountain out of a molehill. Go for it. Just stand your ground. You just worry about being you. Don't let like other people's negative feelings, bring you into a negative place where you start beating yourself up and not feeling good enough, because I know that that's really, really hard to stay strong and humble and be graceful when we're being bombarded with people that pretend to care more than they do, or they just hang around and tolerate, or right, they'll just waste our time, or right, whatever it may be, in order to continue on with, getting energy, or keeping us stuck, or thinking that now that they right, they got paid to poison and ruin us and ruin some part of our life or some part of us in order to then make others right look at us in a shameful manner, or for us to feel shameful. So don't, we're all going through that. Just know that's a thing. Right? It's a thing that's being played upon, and it's not very nice. It's like the bull and the bully, right? And they're both playing bullshit. All right, Urania. Philosophy, knowledge, and intelligence. Urania is the ancient Greek muse of astronomy. And that's so cool. We're just talking about that's like what I wrote in the whole title. Mars, Neptune. We got the full lunar eclipse coming Sunday. Whoop whoop. In Scorpio, 26 degrees. I think it's in Scorpio. That's awesome. That's right. If you fold this astrological circle in half, Taurus is the other side of Scorpio. It's like the shadow side, right? The opposite side of your sun sign would be your shadow, right? So if you don't have awareness of your natal chart and stuff, that's a good thing to have information on. Okay, let's see. Her energy is directed toward endless expansion of the mind. And that's another thing. Yes, expansion. We want to breathe in, breathe out, and expand. We don't want to allow others to keep giving us this bullshit narratives and then inflate and deflate things, right? Think about that. Blow things up like a balloon, put prices really high, make things seem bigger than they really are. And then when they don't come the way that they want it, then everybody has to pout, or then everybody has to pay, right? And then everybody gets depressed in a major way. So, right, as above, so below, right? Heaven and earth, up and down. And what's in the middle? The earthlings, right? It's like, So, but we want to come from the center of self, because that's very 3D, right? A person, what goes up must come down. So that's not really coming from, right? We're going to incorporate the fifth element with the five senses, right? And have, right, use your sixth sense to have discernment, and then incorporate more so that you're able to awaken and activate more sensors, right? Sensories, and what have you, within DNA codes, activations within the vessel, within the body. Because that's what we're really doing. Corona is really, right, activation of the 5-strand DNA. So it's going to take time for like the Kundalini and all those light activations, little strands of hair, right? The strands to activate. And each strand has different, right, atoms, cells, that as they get awakened, right, it can be messy. It's like, right, oyster, right? The pearl and the oyster shell, the sand in there is, right, what that was that American Gods, and Odin was like, I'm like that sand inside the oyster that annoys the fucking shit out of it but turns it into a pearl. So it's that. It can be aggravating. We may not feel good. We may be cranky. You may actually physically get sick, right? Go through some depression. Go through whatever you need to go through mentally, spiritually, right? Emotionally, physically. Get the rest that you need, right? You're going to go through highs and lows, and very like almost manic, like really super highs and get real excited like a kid, and just like you're a kid. And then crash, right? Like a nursery school, they play, and then it's like, all right. So we're coming into a new age, right? Anu, A-N-U, Anu, right? The Sumerian god and what have you, the sky god of blue, Anu, and it's also on the money too, right? Anu, it. So we're coming into a new paradigm and a new age, right? The age of Aquarius from the age of Pisces. And Pisces is, right, two fish, one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. And they go opposite ways, right? Red pill or blue pill. So now, right, pay special attention to the man that bears water, to the water bearer. I never understood why Aquarius is an air sign, but I guess I do somewhat. But yeah, I always think of it as water. But so Aquarius, right, the water bearer, now we're pouring knowledge, right? It's an information age. So knowledge is being poured upon the people, into the crown, into the minds of the people, which is going to affect the heart. And the gut is going to get upset because the gut is used to controlling the brain here, right? We live in I was about to say a globalist society, right? A land of greed, and we have for a long time, right? I said that all funny, like I'm from Long Island. A long time. Right, so it's like fast food, fat food, right, from the wars, canned food. So our diets haven't really been very good, right? We've been operating on, right, have it Yahweh, on Yahweh, right? The human experiment, the human experience. So as we awaken into our, our light codes get activated and we awaken into the star beings, right? Don't forget, you are a spiritual, multidimensional being in a human avatar vessel or body. But that is your body. That's your land, right? Black Lives Matter. Yes, they do. That also stands for business land management. So whatever color skin we are don't really matter. Inside is black. Blackety, 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 black, right? Can't even see it. It's so black, right? We can't see in there. We have to close our eyes to see inside. And it's black. So business land management, BLM. I have to be able to manage, be head of household, right, of my own land mass and not allow others to harm my body of water by speaking or saying, right, speak and say, spell words. I don't accept when people say certain things, or I'm reading something, it's like I don't have to agree. I'm not allowing that to change the formation of the atoms within my cellular structure. And if it does, then I just kindly switch them back. I just tell, like, go back to your original state, right? It's like, because words, vibration creates form. So it changes the molecular structure of each atom, like a little snowflake. The different words that we say change the form within our physical body, right? Business land management. And we don't see that. You can't see that on the outside of my skin, what's going on inside, right? So that whole psyop too, right? Business land management, Black Lives Matter, right? And then I'm not saying now also, let me just clearly state that also there is, right, history to these things too, to bring certain things up into the light, right? Raise them from the dead, to bring awareness to the historical narratives and the historical things that people have actually experienced and gone through. So I'm not decounting that. Listen, I can only speak for myself, and if I haven't experienced stuff because I haven't been here like that and it's not my history, I don't speak on it in that manner. So just to be real clear, I'm coming always metaphysical. I didn't really if you ask me who was in what war and what the fuck it was for, I would not be able to even tell you, because that's not my qualifications. I don't follow his story and her story, and I never have. But I'm more than willing, and I love to hear from we the people, about our history. But I'd rather hear it from the horse's mouth, not from a textbook or from someone else trying to re-narrate some bullshit, and just to cause an uprise, or just to piss people off, or make other people feel a certain way, or to get something going. It's like, wait. We don't need any more of those kind of repeats. If it's something that needs to be attended to, and someone and a person, place, or thing that we need to, right, discuss or bring up in the collective or personally with another or what have you, I'm totally always open and all for it. When people try to force things or just put things out or read, you know, for whatever reason, it's like, yeah, right, pass. And you shouldn't either. Don't fall for just because they're throwing something out, right? Don't go running for it. The carrot, the bone, the fishing lure, whatever they're saying, like, look what they said about you. And then this one over here said that, right? Gossip and naysayers. So they do it to get a rise out of people, which is not raising and nurturing our, right, one another, our brothers, sisters, self, children. Trying to get a rise out of someone, right, and to instill fear or anxiety or a false narrative, and with, right, with an intent to have, you know, self-serving purposes and what have you, right? That's just being a piece of shit. It's being shitty. It's being a butthole face, right? So anyhow, let's finish reading Uranasia. All right, her energy is directed toward endless expansion of the mind. She represents the enthusiastic and dedicated student with an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. When we take the opportunity to expand our knowledge of any particular subject, an interconnectedness of all truths can be recognized. When drawn, Urania encourages you to travel in your mind, imagine other possibilities, and playfully philosophize about alternative reality maps. That's what's up. Just saying. I love when that shit happens. She encourages furthering education or using the knowledge you've already obtained to its fullest potential. Right? So that's where we take a look back at where we've come from and allow everything we've learned and gone through. So it's like, people think, right, too, it's like if you tried something or like, I didn't make it, I didn't get to be that in that job, I didn't get to become, right, a famous singer, or I tried so hard, I went to school for this, and then now I'm not doing that, it didn't work out. Sometimes you got the information that you needed, and you hunted and gathered what you needed. And that's why you didn't need to stay there, or you didn't get put in that position. Or if you got put in that position, you wouldn't have been able to gather and receive what you needed to, right, up until now. So make sure that you take a look at those things. Don't keep cutting yourself short and thinking that you failed, or you didn't get to do, you didn't make it, or you feel some type of way. If you feel shorted or slighted or abandoned, because I do in lots of ways sometimes, especially like left alone, or I know all the people I've ever loved, I have to leave in some way or another. So I can't ever really get too attached. It's very hard to, when you know that it's like Mary Poppins, you're only going to be there for a limited amount of time. It's like you love them so much, but you can't get too attached, right? And then people can look at us like we're disassociated and we don't care and what have you. And that's the farthest thing from the truth. We care more than the average bear. But if we cared anymore, it would crush us, and we can't. That's like committing suicide, and we can't do that. I think, and most of us, it's very, very hard. It's a very fine line, because it's very hard to not say fall in love or become attached with our people that we're right? Our soul, our families, our soul, our missions, or what have you. We can absolutely like fall in love. It's like it's kind of like the movie like Bodyguard, right? Like Whitney Houston or what have you. It's like a lot of the time you fall in love with the people that you spend time with, or you can fall in love with, say, like your capture, people that have kidnapped us and harmed us and, abused us mentally and emotionally and in other manners, right? You fall in love, we've grown to love those beings in those, right? People in a sick twisted way, right? But that's just like saying how America loves the government. If we want to get real technical, right? If we want to get really, really real, or America, right? Or marriage, right? Everybody wants to get married, but who's happy? I mean, there's some, but a lot of the time we feel bad if we're not married, or we feel like we're supposed to be, or a husband feels like they're supposed to perform certain activities as a man or a husband, and so does a woman. And then when you become a mom, you have even more of, right, confliction, who you are as a person, and now what are you supposed to be? Because now you're a mom, and are you still sexy? I'm sexy and I know it. And are you allowed to feel that way? Should you still feel that way? We could feel guilty for feeling that way. And I don't think I've ever had that experience, but I mean, imagine, having your kids come in the room on you, right? That also can, right? Like, and then if your kids get upset, because then they think, right, daddy's hurting mommy or what have you. So there's a lot of things that come with emotional baggage and mental stuff that comes with us as people, humans, as we transition through different states of being and existence and what have you, right? I mean, it's like there's so many different milestones that one can go through in life. It can go from us feeling bad that we didn't experience them, or we can experience them and feel bad and wonder why it's not how we thought or it was supposed to be, right? And then you could feel like you failed or like something's wrong and there's no way out. And now you just got to wait and keep working to die. What a way to live, huh? So, we want to not live like that no more, I think. And just to close this out, because I don't want to make this too long. We're already an hour in. I'll do another one after. We have the perfection of your life that I pulled. And so I'd like to read this together. Kind of goes nice with the music that's on in the background, if you can hear it. Just have some native flute music playing. So I'll put her right there. Can you see? Vaguely. Now I'm just blocking the pretty flowers, though. Put that there. How's that? There you can kind of see. So let's see. I need my glasses for this one. Where'd they go? I just had them. Oh, this is too much. I keep losing everything. Oh, I'm like, I just did have them. Please like, subscribe, and ding the little belly bell, Soul Tribe. I so appreciate. And more you can pass. Definitely check out some of the old videos, the archives that I have out, because everything that I put up is timeless. Absolutely. So anything you're gravitated for that catches your eye, or something in the title, or it might be the thumbnail. A lot of the videos are long, so I'm not expecting anybody to commit to watching any of them, honestly. But again, that's why it's always take what resonates, leave the rest, and they're here. If you need them, they're always here. You can always revert back, and it's like, and take them as a meal, right? Food for thought. Thoughts are food. Thoughts are things. So we want to start to first make sure that we're paying attention to the thoughts that we are having, that are contained within us, and the feelings that come with them, and certain times why we feel certain ways. When do we have certain thoughts that are disruptive or repeats, right? Repeating cycles, right? Choo-choo trains of thoughts that take us into a place that is negative, right? Or that repeat records playing. I really hope I really hope you can hear me. I really hope the volume's working. I can't take much more. So the whole house, my room flooded. I had 1.5 feet of water on the floor. Things were floating. We have an eviction notice that shouldn't be in my name, but it is, and that's whatever. You know, they said that I orally agreed to pay an amount. I never orally agreed. I've never, ever, ever, because I haven't accepted money for a reading or done anything, like I've said this whole time, in over 5 years. I got guided to like stop working, my children, my car, my jobs, my house, my everything, my license. Even my license got stolen a long time ago. It's like everything got taken from me. Anything I tried to hold on to got removed or taken. So learning to let go, and that's dark night of the soul. You're going to start to lose things, and it's okay. You're going to be okay. It's letting you know, like, most people feel abandoned by God, right? The universe and the divine, Holy Spirit, or God, the mother. This is where it's going to get scary, but you're going to find out and remember you're never alone. And it's like the footsteps prayer, you know, it's like when there's only one pair of footsteps. Well, where were you before? It's like I was carrying you the whole time, you know, when you only saw one pair of footsteps. You know, and I can really honestly vouch for that. It's like I've gone through so much crazy shit in my life. There's no doubt. I definitely, there is not even an ouncey little minuscule drop of doubt. There's not nothing. I mean, you know, I went through my time in life where I kind of, you know, like say forgot about God or forgot about, you know, who we are, who I am inside spiritually or what have you, kind of rebelled against, like, you know, like not even rebelled, just kind of got caught up in my own, you know, our own little, like, you know, lives. But never really, yeah, I never was against anything. I mean, just, and actually, you know, I can say, if I'm gonna be honest, I probably was like a little bit mad or upset, like say at God or at life and what have you for some moments in time. You know, absolutely. I don't ever remember being like, yeah, upset, like mad or anything. Just kind of like maybe feeling, you know, like, yeah, abandoned and lost. But, or, you know, I have to make another video about that, actually. That'll be a good topic to go get into, right? Losing ourselves to find ourselves, right? Or losing God to find him slash her again, or him and then find out it's a her and he's the husband and has been right here playing with the kids the whole time because the mother, right, passed away after the first birth, and then so the father's been here the whole time. It's really crazy. So that's gonna be we're gonna have to do a whole nother video with all that. So yeah. Oh, thanks so much for coming, and I hope you're doing, you know, hang in there. You know, again, when it seems it's most dark and most hopeless and most, you know, you're most scared, remember this too shall pass, and you are not alone, and that means you're almost there, right? Don't let those moments of because they get very dark and very scary at times, and we can feel very alone and very afraid and not know which direction we're turning, and never to always remember in that moment. That's the moment you have to remember to breathe and have faith. And it's like, it's okay. This is like, right, like Alice in Wonderland, or what, like, that's not real. That's not real. I'm right here. I'm okay. I'm safe, right? Are you safe? Check in, close your eye, right? Sometimes you have to go real deep inside and keep telling yourself how safe you are so that you remember that you're safe. Because the feelings can become very overwhelming, right? The tides that are pushing and pulling. Don't forget, the ocean is controlled by the moon, so it's getting pushed and pulled. And the moon and the sun are like pretty much kissing right now outside. They're like right across from each other. So cute, little rainbow. Make a little rainbow bridge. So yeah, that has an effect on our bodies inside. Most people don't like really, you know, it's when people talk about astrology and right, astronomy is a science. astrology is the science of the astronomy. We are of the stars. So the natal charts and the way that the planets and the stars are placed and what have you, and who you are and your placement and your birth chart, right? Your placement of the planetary alignments and what have you, when you came in through from where you came from, where your soul came from, into, right, Earth's plane, the earthly plane, and you were physically born, that's your, right, your God print, your fingerprint, your blueprint from the gods. Only you have that. No one else has your vibratory signature. Not even another twin. Period. Right? So that's how unique we all are. Right? So don't let anybody let you feel like, right, like that's so stupid, or that's like, right, popcorn, whatever, new age, whatever. No. It's ancient, and that's how you got here. And again, that's like, why did police take your fingerprint? You know, they want to keep people focused on, oh, look over there, dirty shit, instead of, and not the police or fingerprints. They want to keep, but the narratives want to keep people focused on, oh my gosh, look what's going on. So we feel like, oh, there's so, oh, da 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 da, oh. I was like, don't you have anything good to say? There's a lot of good things. There's many good stories people could be picking, or they could be, right, choosing different areas, or, and I'm going to say, and races to be focusing on, you know, what's their purpose for putting certain narratives and people and stories on the news, right? It's to influence a certain people. It's to influence people. So when people's, right, priority and intent is to influence a mass of others, to make people look down or bad at certain races of people, or people from certain areas, or whatever have you, don't forget that those people got put in those places due to the nature of what a mess. Let me just stop on it. The setups, they go deep. And the difference too between, I'm just gonna do, you know, all the segregations of people. A lot of people just like to blend in with the others, like blend in with, like, right? It's like, no. And then a lot of people have a skewed view because they think that they already know the truth, or that they already know, which is a whole nother can of worms, right? I mean, I don't know. All right. Have you ever, the perfection of your life, have you ever seen a storm pictured from above? It can appear to be so beautiful and elegant. This is certainly different to the ground view, which can be quite a violent experience. So too, there is great beauty in your life now. However, at this point in the natural process, you may be experiencing it as anxiety-inducing rather than beautiful. Totally, that's what I was just saying to you, right? Surf the chaos into, it's like big waves. Woohoo! You may sense it as internal chaos. You may feel it as something that is waiting to erupt from within, as a restlessness or an anxiety that you cannot quite articulate, but sense vaguely nonetheless. Perhaps the chaos is fully fledged, and a person or situation in your life is causing all kinds of havoc, upheaval, or change, and uncertainty in your world. Well, that's an absolute. Yep. Whether the chaos seems subtle, strong, internal, or external, this oracle brings the same message for you. All is unfolding according to a perfect higher order, even though it doesn't feel that way. Even though it feels like the sky is falling and the whole world's falling apart and nobody knows what to do. And this is after COVID, after everybody already got their shots and thought they were all in the clear out of the storm. We got to talk like, we got to just bring it on. All right. You are currently enduring a cosmic spiritual storm, which is having an impact on you. Woohoo. I just said that too. It is clearing things out, ruffling feathers, and preparing you for that lovely, super fresh, uplifting feeling that no one experiences after the storm has finally passed. If you have drawn the oracle of after the storm as well, this message is amplified for you. I didn't pull another card, so but maybe we can just to see. But I'm not going to read another one. Even if you have not chosen that card, but feel intuitively drawn to read the message for it after the healing process below, you are encouraged to do so. If you cannot believe there is anything happening, even at a subtle level, because you feel stuck, denied, bored, thwarted, or stale, this oracle brings you a message also. No matter what appears to be, in truth, there is only the unfolding, creative genius of the universe. You are not forgotten. That is so sweet. We just said that. You have not been looked over. You have not been denied, found wanting, or rejected as unworthy. The storm that needs to erupt is in your own heart. Yeah, we just said that too. Do your liberating rain dance. Rage, weep, pray, dance, paint, or sing. Express whatever is needed, however it's needed, to exercise the blocked energy in your heart. Yeah, and don't forget, right? Every single one of us, a devil inside. So all the demons that are inside, 72 interdimensional demons, we want to clear those paths. We want to exorcise those demons, right? It said Jesus exorcised demons from Mary. Yeah, okay. Yes, absolutely. Did Mary have the demons before meeting Jesus? It's 519. That's my birthday. Ancestral blood cleaning time. 519 means ancestral blood cleaning. All right. Let's see. Then you will call on the powerful perfection of your life path as it aligns for the next creative turn of the spiral of life. Once again, you will trust and directly experience the flower of life unfolding within you and around you. Healing process. Imagine that you are standing at the silent center of a great cleansing storm. Or just saying, right? Be the eye. All aspects of your life are rained upon, blown about, and even messed up a little. I was just rained upon my whole life. Yeah, I just got flooded out in a most crazy way. And then the wind demons, I tried to bring things to storage unit because now they moved us next door to Joe's old room. Joe is still in the hospital / nursing, healthcare. Now they want to take all his money from him, which we knew was going to probably be a case, right? So then the nursing homes want to take all the money from the elderly, which he needs assistance, and he's okay with what he's doing right now. We're so far, but there's a lot that got to be ironed out. These are old narratives, and this isn't about just letting our people go and then everybody lives off of the inheritance and money and credit and bonds and whatever promises of and off of others. That ain't happening no more. That's why we're open in Pandora's box already been open. That's why we've been going through all this craziness. And now, again, there's been a huge spiritual audit. So anything that man-made law mimicking, right, spiritual, divine, and universal law, you know, and anyone going against after they've already made a free will decision or gone and used their will against someone else's free will, don't even worry about it. They're going to be taken care of, meaning that everything comes with its price, and the devil's coming to collect. Because if you made a deal with the devil, there ain't no negotiations when it's tax collector day. It ain't like, yeah, it's like they're coming to collect. There's a certain time, right? It's temporary. You get a temporary amount of time to play out whatever it is you fucking gambled at the crossroads, whoever that, right? Whatever they gambled at the crossroads, there's a certain limited amount of time. And it's like, you know, like Cinderella and then like then the ball, right? The clock strikes 12 and then everything goes back to normal. So everything going to go back to however it was before they did whatever spells and deals they made and whatever have you, right? That's all going to go back. And then plus on top of that, they get to be the devil's bitch. So the price comes real heavy when you want to play with shit like that and summon things from the dead and pull on others' energies and use it for your own self-gratifying desires. I was like, listen, everybody does like little whatever here and there. That's not like, oh, that was crazy. Confirmation beep. The fuck? Sheepers. You know, everybody, it's like, you know, it's like there's a reason we're in, Earth is called a school, right? And so we're all here to have an experience, but there's certain, right? And it's like, and those two that have gone way too far, again, it's not my place to judge. It's not, it's just, that's it, right? They're just going to go where they need to go to get the help that they need and not be where, right? Eventually, right? It's like everybody's going to just go where they need to be so that they can get what they need. And spirit in the universe helps with that. We don't have to worry about that. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave that at that. All right. Once again, you will trust and directly experience. All right. Blah, blah, blah. All right. I read that. So how do you feel? The storm then passes and you're left with soft sunshine and slightly soggy feet. Oh my gosh. Seriously, my sneakers were so wet the other day. So wait, let me just tell you, like, yeah, wait. So then I had to bring everything into the car to try to I got a storage unit. So then I tried to pack everything into the truck and it was windy. It was at Sunday. And so I had all the doors open, the hatchback and the doors. I don't even know what happened. It's like literally a ghost came and locked the doors. I just put my jacket in the front seat and a battery pack. And it was the last things I was putting in the car to bring to storage. I wasn't even coming back inside. And the fucking wind closed the door just enough to so it was still partially open, but closed enough where I couldn't get back in. So my keys got locked in the car. This is now 3 days after the room flooded. So like everything had to get moved. Everything had to, and whatever. I'm not even going to go into the details of the ridiculousness of all that. But when it rains, it hails, right? And hail. So then the car I got locked out of the car, so I couldn't bring the stuff to storage. Then I tried to get in there. I had some stuff inside that I tried to get in, and a guy that stays here too tried to help me, and he ended up breaking and shattering the driver's door window. My passenger door was still kind of open, so I was on the passenger side. I guess he went over on the driver's side to try to get in that way. I wasn't even paying attention to him. And then he says, do you know your window's broken? Your driver's window's broken? I'm like, it wasn't, but it is now. That's like $400 or $600 to fucking fix. So now, aside from the car, I can't get into the car. I can't bring my stuff to storage. Everything's flooded and soaking fucking wet. And on top of that, now the driver's window is fucking broken. Sorry about all the F-bombs. OMG. So then there's these other guys that are staying here, a whole truck, it was so cute. Like, I stay at a hotel. I live at a hotel. I've lived at a hotel for over 5 years now, all through COVID and all. And so then these guys they're looking at us out the window. They work for an air duct place. So like there's like 2-3 vans. They all come and they all try to help with all their tools. it was like, what a laughing stock. I mean, they did a great job. Just the car is impossible to break into, which I guess is a good thing. Oh my gosh. So I had to wait till the whole next day because not AAA, but the 24 road service didn't call us back the night before. We had to wait till the next day. And then he did it in like 2 seconds. He shows up with his little puppy dog, how cute, and did it in like 0.2 seconds. I was like, you just made us look like fucking circus monkeys. So I got my stuff to storage after that occurred. Whoopee, some of it. And then yesterday, I go get in the car, and I'm going to do another load of storage and stuff. And I go to start the car up, and now the car doesn't start. I'm like, I can't. Can you take it? I can't take it. It's so crazy. It's like, oh, and then yesterday, because when it didn't start, I said, F it, I was hungry. I walked to the diner and I got myself a salmon sandwich and some coconut shrimp. And I asked for roasted beets, and I got cold beets like out of a can. It was so funny. And I was like, oh, so it threw me off. It's like I wasn't mad or anything, but it totally threw me off. Cold beets with nothing on it. And then I go to get the bill, and it was like $40-something. So I go to give him the card, and the guy comes back and gives me a receipt that said $112.62 that he just swiped the card for. So I was like, wait a minute. I said, you just gave me the bill and it was $6. I said, and then you just said it's 112, and it was a whole different order. He was like, oh. So I was like, okay. So it was like everything. Talk about Mercury retrograde. And whatever else we want to call all this. Because it's like I don't try to push too much, but it's like I just had to. It's like I'm still keeping a sense of humor, but yeah. And I still haven't received anything back from the court. I had to apply for filed for an appearance, which I do not want to engage at all in appear anywhere. And there's no victim. And I'm quite annoyed that my name is on a legal paper saying that I orally agreed to something and I'm a defendant when I didn't, and there's no victim. So how am I having to defend myself against my own bond, my own name, when I never, right? So this is why when other people have already made deals and then go back on, and then we have COVID, and then they had COVID relief funds. And then now we applied for those things. See, it's like I was supposed to not work and be neutral just to see all this stuff. I guess it's like, because it is very interesting. I will say how yeah, because the only thing I've orally been clear about is do not put anything in my name. Do not put anything in my name. I haven't used money. I don't have a card. I don't have a car in my name. I don't have anything in my government capital letter name in over 5 years. Over 5 years, almost 7 now. So it's like that's the only thing I've been very clear about. And I've gotten beaten up by police officers and arrested falsely, right? So I have no problem against any, again, person, places, or things, but I've had my own experiences. And and be careful too. I heard that they're also doing like some false, right, police officers, people dressing up looking like police officers. So just use caution. And don't forget, you never have to talk to anybody. That's your right to remain silent and keep on walking the other way. You don't have to engage in conversation with someone that's trying to pull you in to their rabbit circus ring. And again, I'm not saying anything about any right, because again, if you're in the system, if you're in the police force, if you're in whatever, because like we're all doing the same thing you are. If you are here to uphold peace and justice and what have you, woohoo, thank you. We appreciate you. But if you're one of those that didn't make it on, like, you know, the football team or the basketball team or the soccer team, and you just have, like, right, a bunch in your shorts and you have an attitude and you're one of them, or you're just trying to get back at whoever, or you got, right, like some kind of, yo, if you're one of them, you're coming from an immature, unprocessed place, and you probably don't belong running around with a gun and other things of such natures in an authoritative manner if you don't have ability to come from a balanced emotional and mental place. Just saying, right? If you don't have an ability to just have discernment and not come charging in to get yourself hurt or hurt somebody else, that's the same thing as using black magic. So you shouldn't be holding a gun or a badge or some kind of title, right? So there needs to be things done to and with our system, right? Because lots of people are in specific places that don't belong. And that I have a problem with, I will say. And that's how it's been for way too long. So this is like, right, and it ain't no longer about a pissing contest. And I guarantee you, a lot of us women can piss farther than you men anyhow. In squat position. Just saying. If you want to whip out the guns, we don't even need one. I'm just playing now. I'm getting silly. All right. So anyhow, yeah. So it's just, it's a matter, and think of the word, right? Policing is anybody. You don't have to be a police officer. It's like anyone that's in the position of coming from an authoritative position, thinking that they're right, or like, hey, what's going on? Or what's up? Whatever you did, right? Overseeing, coming from, and generally because they feel less than. So a lot of the time, so it's not always, a lot of time, again, it's like sometimes, right, you have to shut off those emotions. Like we were just talking about Mars and what have you. You can't be caring about like what people's story is and oh my goodness, They, again, like why I was talking about not being able to get attached to certain, right? They can't either. So I do have respect for that as far, right? It's like when they're doing their job and that's why they're that's cool. It's how you should be. Have compassion, have empathy, but they don't want to get pulled in because then that would make them a sucker and then they wouldn't have discernment. So again, then that would be emotionally immature and that they would not qualify for that position. Right? So, in a certain manner. I mean, I'm saying not, it's very like, I'm just talking. I'm just blabbing. I'm going to shut the fuck up now. All right. So let's read the healing process. Bump it up, bump. Okay. The storm then passes and you're left with soft sunshine, slightly soggy feet. Some parts of your life will have been washed away. Some others will still be strong and stable. A bit messy, perhaps, but still there nonetheless. How do you feel? Underneath your feet, you see a pattern forming in the cleansed earth. As if it is rising up from the damp, slightly disturbed soil, a golden, gleaming, geometric pattern of the flower of life glows. Sense the perfection of the form. See how each flower feeds into the next, in symmetry, harmony, and balance. Finish this practice by saying, I give thanks for the higher order of my life, which I trust implicitly, as it guides me into wholeness and love. From that which appears as chaos, new order is rising. I trust this and receive the gift of higher order in my life now. Through grace and mercy, so be it. Relax for a moment. Become aware of your feet in your own time. Go back to your day or evening. You have completed your healing process. If you are very drawn to the flower of life pattern, you may like to research it further and draw or color it into your journal as a visual meditative exercise. Yeah, there's a book called The Ancient Flower of Life. I have it. I don't know where presently, but that's a really good book. And yeah, the flower of life is like at the root of the tree, at the base. The base. Where is it? Wait a minute. It might be more midheaven. Hold on a minute there. We'll have to make another video on that. Yeah, I was like, my brain just went into like a whole vision there. So as I said, flower of life, it was like at the root, and then I got like a midheaven vision, like with the 9 realms and the tree of Josiel. And that kept coming up till all day today too. 8 and 9. The number 8, infinity sign, getting stuck in the loops, but don't forget there's 1 plus 1 that's invisible. There's an invisible one, which is 9, and then 9 is right, and then 3, 6, 9. I got this whole breakdown of the numbers earlier. I always do, but I mean, those were important today. 8 and 9, and plus 1, the invisible one, and so yeah. I'm going to leave it there and go shower this nappy head of hair I have here. It's been a messy couple of months, babies. So yeah, I'm exhausted. I've just been like literally mentally, physically just drained, and then like too, again, when people are pulling on our emotional energy and like having to, it's like, then we can't focus on what we need to. It's like, and then when people ask us, well, what are we going to do next? It's like, but they don't take into consideration, right, the time and space, the process of things that are going on. Or when people are like, oh, now, great, COVID, now COVID's over. I never gave a fuck about COVID to begin with. I never walked around wearing a mask. I didn't go get tested or get a shot. And I have no problem saying that. And if you look into it, I've said for a long time, right, that was the old pagan ritual where they shove the thing up your nose. Or in Egypt, when we did the mummification and remove all the organs from the body, we used a copper bronze thing that looks like an egg beater that they would shove up the nose and whisk around to pull the brain out and throw it the fuck out, because it's worthless. The only thing that remains in the body of the dead is the heart, so that the soul can recognize the body when it comes back. But Tutankhamun's heart was removed, right? So then we get into the tomb robbers and the grave robbers, and gold diggers, gold mining, etc. And then that takes us into the now modern day, which is the same as the old, and they're all the same beings, right? Human trafficking, organ trafficking, prostitution rings, gambling rings, the whole, right? So buying and selling of, right, meat, people. So yeah, I only wanted to be an hour and I did it again. So on that note, peace out, one love. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out, and I bid you adieu, TTFN. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, and please come back and hang out. And I am I'm definitely going to be doing more. Hopefully I still have a phone paid for somehow. Everything will work out however it's supposed to, one way or another. Also, I had a big download on the grid's going down. So, just like, I just want to quick on a side note just before I leave, because I don't know when the next time I'm gonna actually be able to get on is. It's important that they're telling me important to bring that up right now. So if the grids do go down, it might be quite significant. And you know, don't panic. Again, like I think we've been all preparing for that for a while. So if they do, if it happens, we'll be okay. You know, and if you're able to, it's like really important to like start to like, you know, again, right, food for thought. Start paying attention to your thoughts and your feelings. Pay attention to what you're putting in your body as food. What are you eating? Is that gonna is that going to give you energy, or is it gonna make fat? Because a calorie can only do one or the other. It can either make energy or it can make fat. And that's it. And we only have a certain number of fat cells in our body. So it'll just blow the fat cell up. It's not going to give you more fat cells, but it's either going to, right, go to the fat cell, or it's going to produce energy. And there ain't nothing wrong with once in a while. It's like sometimes I need to eat fatty food, so to speak. I need to eat something more like that's going to ground me and bring me like into a lower frequency, because a lot of the time it's like I'm up in the clouds, like in the cosmos. It's like I'm up so I'm like ding 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 ding. It's like I'm like a fucking pinball machine. So I need sometimes something to bring me, to ground me, bring me into a right to, you know, anyhow, I'm gonna make another about that too, because then we're getting into like the acids and the acidic body and right pH balance and balancing out all the inner alchemy. So yeah, I love you guys. Thanks for coming to hang out with me. I think I dropped quite a few F-bombs. Sorry, YouTube and FB. I ain't nowhere near perfect. I'm messy as fuck. And I make lots of mistakes. And I just giggle throughout them. I gotta giggle. I get scared and then I gotta giggle. And just keep learning, right? That's all we can do. And yeah, I think that's it. All right, later.